Following the 42-day lockdown, the National Task Force considered the following parameters to revisit the restrictions. The current level of COVID-19 transmissions, as shown by the drop in cases, positivity rate, and hospital admissions. That's one of the factors that we considered. Adherence to the SOPs by the population. Economic considerations for the country and the wananchi. Current coverage of vaccination. Prolonged effects of the pandemic, 17 months on the wananchi. In addition to the above, the National Planning Authority has made projections on the potential effects of the different interventions and the likely outcomes. The model analyzes a number of factors including COVID-19 cases, Human Development Index, geographical factors, population density, age structure, and weather, among others, to give projections of the COVID-19 new cases trends. They looked at 3 options to analyze how the current cases that average 300 per day might increase or decrease on either full opening up would give us with no lockdown. That was one option we considered. We open everything. Number 2, no opening up, full lockdown. Number 3, partial opening up. The result of their modeling is as below. Modeling is to make some assumptions using some facts which you know, and then you project. You say, since things are like this, likely to end up like that. Fully opening up, according to them, if we fully opened up, within 28 days, new cases will average about 500 per day, with a weekly average of around 2,000. This measure will take the country directly into the 3rd wave, according to their analysis. No opening up. Continue with the full lockdown. With this option, the country would have 30 new daily infections and a weekly average of 246 new cases in the coming 28 days. So this would cut down the infections. This measure has strong and positive health benefits as the cases will reduce drastically, but it has got negative economic consequences that will impact the economic and social well-being of the people. Then we'll go to partial opening up. Okugulako ebintu ebimu. Takes an increased number of cases in the first week to an average of 309 new cases per day, and eventually coming down to 85 new cases by the 3rd week. The initial increase of the cases is due to the increased movement of people in the opening week. Everyone will be coming out after the 42 days of closure, and this may spike the infection rate. Cases are projected to further reduce to about 66 new cases per day by 28 days after partially easing the lockdown, based on this model. It is therefore important to ensure that there is still observance of SOPs within the partial lockdown period so as to curb the spread of the virus. The graph there is showing what I have already told you, what each model will produce, that graph. Based on the scientists' advice and NPA projections, I now revise my directives as follows. Number one, curfew time is maintained at 7 p.m. sawa muyechiro up to 5:30 nekitundu kumacha. All persons except the security personnel on duty and those are authorized to move should be in their homes. This is intended to avoid breaching of guidelines, SOPs, and thuggery under the cover of darkness. So the curfew we maintain. Why do we maintain the curfew? Because without curfew, there will be too much socialization in the night, and that's where the disaster will be. But with the curfew, people stay in their homes. They may drink. I hear some people call it sanitizing themselves. They may sanitize themselves, but do it in their homes. That's bad, but not as bad as sanitizing. So that's number one, curfew stays. Number two, borders are now allowed to move up to 1800 hours, that is 6 o'clock. Beyond 1800 hours, no border should be on the road. Or border, or kiriziwa, or kusabaza omuntu omuyeka. They should strictly maintain SOPs. Wearing a mask is a must for both the rider and the passenger. But please don't share masks. Everybody will come with his own mask. They should strictly maintain SOPs. Wearing a mask is a must for both the rider and the passenger, as I already said. The border associations are directed to regulate themselves. Failure to comply, this directive would be reversed to the earlier position. Chikubo should open under the following conditions. All kiosks within the corridors of buildings should be removed for purposes of decongesting pathways. The vending within Chikubo is banned. These will be relocated to alternative venues where vending is permitted by the KCCA. Chikubo should remain a wholesale trading center. The ministers for Kampala, RCC, KCCA, and enforcement agencies to ensure compliance of these measures. Manufacturers, wholesalers, and traders should open outlets in the various towns and business centers in the outskirts of the central business district. Adapt to e-commerce. Malls, arcades, and other business centers have been closed. These can open and must strictly follow these guidelines. Compliance to all SOPs, presence of compliance officers is a must. Corridors and access ways have to be clear, adequate lighting and ventilation, dedicated entry and exit, install CCTV cameras if they are not already there, proper hygiene and sanitation facilities, registration of shop owners and attendants is a must. Only those arcades that conform to the above guidelines would be allowed to open. In addition, failure to conform to any of the above will lead to closure. On the issue of barriers, this should not, people who go for barriers should not exceed 20. This should be maintained. This was the previous guideline. Maintain it until the population is sufficiently vaccinated. On the issue of weddings, which were regulated to 20 people, That should be maintained until the population is sufficiently vaccinated. So continue with small weddings. Places of worship. This should remain closed and will be reviewed after another 60 days. Alternative means of worship, i.e. online radio and TVs, are instead encouraged. A maximum of 10 leaders are allowed to lead the virtual prayers. The Minister of Health will have to explain this. The 10 of all the religions or what? She will explain it. Previously, outdoor sports events were allowed with restrictions. The international and the local accredited sports events are allowed under strict observance of SOPs. No spectators, mandatory testing of players and officials within 72 hours of the event. This is reporting, I think. Outdoor individuals, if you are playing alone outside or jogging, it's allowed, especially if you have your mask on. Indoor sports activities, including gym, pool tables, those should remain closed. The pool tables and so on. Gaming and betting remain closed. Casinos, theaters, and cinemas, including Bivanda, remain closed. Performing artists, concerts, and comedians are advised to perform virtually. These measures shall be reviewed after 42 days. Bars remain closed, and enforcement agencies are directed to arrest and charge both revelers and the owners who breach this directive. Restaurants previously were allowed to operate under strict observances of SOPs. These should remain open under strict observance of SOPs. These are restaurants for food, not bars. Saloons were allowed to operate under strict observance of SOPs. I agree this should be opened under strict observance of the SOPs and guidelines. Saunas and steam baths, those are super spreaders. When you go there and all the corona comes out. So this should remain closed. Saunas, if you want sauna, do it in your own shower. Just go there, put hot water. That's what sauna is. But to go into shared sauna is really madness. Schools will remain closed until sufficient vaccination of the eligible population and children aged 12 to 18 years old has taken place. The Minister of Education and Sports and National Council for Higher Education and the Minister of Health should meet and plan for the possibility of a safe reopening of medical schools. Because medical schools, we are looking at them as also, so we are thinking of giving them a special arrangement. Learning should continue virtually. Minister of Education and Sports will provide learning materials to learners. Reduction to 10% of non-core staff in the ministries, departments, and MDAs and other formal sector may now, because previously we had said only 10% office workers should be the one to report. We are now saying make them 20. Make them 20. MDAs and other formal sectors must have compliance officers to enforce SOPs. Private vehicles are now allowed to move across district borders, carrying a maximum of 3 persons, including the driver. Registered tourist vehicles should continue to move to their destination and designated enforcement agencies and the task forces at all levels to ensure compliance. Minister of Health should on a bi-weekly basis flag the high-risk districts for restrictive control actions. Movement in and out of the country through Entebbe International Airport will remain open. Minister of Health, Immigration Services, Port Health and other agencies of government to ensure compliance to the existing guidelines, such as testing, isolation, etc. UPDF medical services are directed to oversee the management of the COVID-19 screening process at the Entebbe International Airport, leading to secure entry and exit. Online visa management systems be maintained. Cargo trucks are still allowed to move in and out of the country with a maximum of 2 people, driver and turnman. Drivers should possess a negative COVID-19 test result and be allowed to move. Public transport will open at strictly 50% capacity, effective Monday, August 2021. So you can travel in the taxi or the bus, but it must be 50% full, so that you are traveling, but you are not squeezed. This will be reviewed after 2 weeks. Taxi and bus owners associations must ensure adherence to this directive by their members as part of self-regulation by the appropriate associations. There must be no air conditioning in all public transport. Don't use air conditioning. See, I don't have air conditioning here. Because air conditioning is a super spreader. So when you are traveling in a bus or a taxi, don't agree when there is air conditioning. The public transport associations are directed to regulate themselves. Failure to comply with this, the directive will be reversed to the area. The food markets should remain open, but maintain strict observances of SOPs. Food markets were never closed, even previously. Seasonal markets, Ebikomera, like the ones of my group, the one of Ntungamo, Rubare, Kagarama, Chitwe, those ones, and also the food markets of Tare, where people just come and sell and go. These should remain closed because they are super spreaders. People come from where you don't know, they gather together, then they go back. It's very dangerous. How can you control that? You don't even know how it all started. So that's why they should remain closed for now. Conferences, workshops, and seminars were banned. These remain banned except with the express permission from the Ministry of Health and related MDAs. Numbers will be restricted and testing will be carried out. The Joint Intelligence Committee are directed to continue coordinating, monitoring, and enforcing compliance of these directives. TISSC or Intersectoral Committee to create regional and district operations rooms to oversee the enforcement of the SOPs. The Minister of Finance, working with the Bank of Uganda, will mobilize low-cost credit for microfinance, small and medium enterprises. Government will, as a first step, immediately raise Uganda shillings 100 billion through further budget rationalization, and participating financial institutions will equally contribute to Uganda shillings 100 billion. This brings total resources available for the medium, small-scale industries to Uganda shillings 200 billion. The Minister of Finance will prepare and announce details and guidelines to this support within 2 weeks from today. I would like to appreciate the following companies who have recently supported the COVID-19 response, on top of those who I had earlier recognized during the first wave of the pandemic. Nairo Breweries Limited, 300 oxygen cylinders worth 330 million. Abusa Bank donated 160 oxygen cylinders and accessories. Ham Enterprises, he contributed vaccines of 530 million shillings. Bidco, $100,000. Manufacturers who are supporting our hospital medical oxygen, namely BM Steel Mbarara, Kesimens Africa, Oxygas, Mayuga Steel, NEC, UPDF, Roofings Limited, Steel and Tubes Industries, Tembo Steel Uganda Limited, Uganda Oxygen Limited, and Pramuka Steel Limited. So, in conclusion, countrymen and countrywomen, we may say that unless, of course, the virus now they say is changing, that it is becoming, I was watching TV, that it may be as infectious as the common cold or as influenza, as influenza, which is the same as common cold, I think. No, also as chicken pox. Chicken pox is amatojo. What is chicken pox? Chicken pox is what we call amatojo. So they are saying now that the virus, this delta something, may be as infectious as amatojo, chicken pox, or like the common cold. So I don't know what that means. It is more infectious than before. It means it is more infectious, faster. But if the problem, because for instance, if it can hang in the air for some time, and you come and breathe it, but previously, it was easy to stop because it could go to only 2 meters. And unless you touch yourself in your eyes or your nose or your mouth with an unwashed hand. So it was possible to avoid it. But people, I don't know what they were thinking. Not listening is the one that has caused all these unnecessary problems. Nevertheless, Uganda is not as bad off as some of the other countries, because in some of the countries, like the US, they lost 600,000 people. 600,000 people is like all the people in Arua district dying. Arua district is one of the big districts. Or Ntungamo district. Here, people have died 2009, the figure I read here, but not as bad as in other countries. Now we are partially opening up, as I have read. Public vehicles, transport will resume, but go with only 50%. Ekitega, Ekitundu. Now, if you don't observe that and you think you are clever, you may get problems. And of course, you cause us social problems. If these measures are taken, we can avoid a third wave. And we shall have got time to get vaccination and maybe even the cures, which we are trying. I thank you and I wish you good luck.